Good evening. This is Wendy from WolfWalker Collectibles, and this is another series at the bench. And I've got a repair here, and I thought maybe you could learn a little something about what we can do with cracked stones. Now, cracked stones in vintage jewelry is something that you can just expect to see. And a lot of times the cracks can stay there for a very long time and the stone doesn't move. I don't usually have a big problem with it at all. This is a customer who does want to have the crack fixed as best as possible. So what we're going to do is use some two-part epoxy. And sometimes we can fill the cracks. This crack goes all the way around down to here. So it is time to fix it. She's wearing it a lot and doesn't want to take the chance that one of these two pieces comes out. And if she does hit that bracelet hard on something, more than likely more of this matrix is going to crack and fall out. So sometimes what I will do is I will crush up either turquoise. In this instance, it's mostly the matrix that has come out. So I'll crush up either matrix or blue or green, depending what it is, very finely, which is what we've done here. And I had to try to find some little tiny pieces of turquoise and matrix that would come close to this color. This looks a lot like Royston turquoise, but we don't know for sure. So I went ahead and I crushed up from a piece this size. I put it in a plastic bag and hammered it and crushed it up finely. And then I took some of it and I rubbed it into those cracks as best as I can to try to get it filled as much as possible. Now you can also mix your two-part epoxy and then put this crushed into your glue and mix it all up and then put both in here. And I will do that if it's a big crack or a big hole. But this is not. It actually looks bigger in the camera than in real life. And because this is so fine, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the two-part epoxy in here instead of trying to use the two of them together. And the reason why is a lot of times when it's mixed with the two-part epoxy, it's really difficult to try to control how much epoxy is going in the hole or how much of the crushed is going in the hole. So I don't want to bring in color at all into this crack. I don't want to bring blue in because it's really going to stand out then. I would rather we just fill the crack in order to make sure that the stone is very, very secure. And I'm not going to at all worry about the fact that there is a crack there. We just want to make sure that it's not going to get any bigger. So I did push in as much of this little tiny stuff as I can. You can just move it around and put as much in there as you can. And I've just found that sometimes this actually works better because some of that matrix is actually falling down into the crack and it's not just the glue. Okay. So then just use your two-part epoxy. And you want to make sure you get equal parts. mix that up really, really good. This epoxy is going to harden anywhere from about 8 minutes in it. You want to let it sit undisturbed for at least a good couple of hours. Okay, and then I'm just going to apply it just over the cracked area. And it will just go ahead and seep right on down inside that. And now I'm going to let this just sit for a couple of hours. And then I will come back and grind and sand and polish that. And you won't even know that it's there. But at least the crack is now going to be filled and it will be solid. This little ring is one that I just purchased. It's very old, early 1900s. Gorgeous green and blue turquoise, and it's got 2 big cracks. But I am only going to apply the epoxy to fill those so that they don't get bigger, because I don't want to, first of all, I don't have any green that would actually match this. So if I tried to put in a line of other kind of color, it would just stand out and really look terrible. So it's much easier here to just go ahead and doctor the cracks. And know that our ring is at least secure. So this way we can save a lot of our beautiful old turquoise jewelry, save the stone. So now we're going to let that dry. And then again, I will come back later in a couple hours and grind that epoxy down, sand it, polish it, and you won't be able to feel anything there at all. Okay, thanks for stopping in. Bye. Okay, I let the epoxy dry overnight, actually. So this is the morning, and it's dried really, really, really hard. So you can see it shining in there. And we're going to go ahead now and remove any of the excess epoxy until everything feels nice and smooth. And then I'll know that the epoxy did seep down into the crack if it feels really, really smooth. If it doesn't feel smooth, then I may have to go back in, but from what I can see, it looks like we are in good shape. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. So this ring had 2 cracks. And what I've got here, this tool, it's really, really, really soft, rubbery, abrasive. So it's not hurting the stone. It's taking the polish off the stone, but I can go back in and repolish it. comes off very quickly. And the ring looks great. You actually wouldn't hardly even know there was a crack in there. Can't feel any crack at all. Okay. So then I use a Fordham tool, which you can put all different kinds of wheels on there that you want. And this is just a little buff, and I use Zam. It's just a little cotton cloth. There's all kinds of little buffing materials that you can use. Don't need much polishing compound. It'll do the job. And I try to keep a polishing wheel, some that are just for polishing stones, and some that are just for polishing your metal, because I don't want to drag any of that silver onto my polishing buff and then use it to polish the turquoise, because it's always a possibility of scratching things. Okay. Feels just perfectly smooth. So this old beauty, definitely a 20s to 30s Fred Harvey era, is safe and secure and ready to live again. Okay, let's see what we can do with this bracelet. So I'm going to change back to my little soft rubber wheel here. And we're going to go for this one. Some of the glue on this one ran off on the side, so I've got to get it off. So I'm definitely leaving that area. But since I also cut stones, I feel pretty safe and secure on how to work with this. So it feels like the glue is definitely gone down into the crack, which is good, because this is a very, very pretty stone. And this, see, this is really, really soft stone. You can't, I mean soft wheel, so you really can't hurt yourself or this turquoise. There's a little bit down there yet. Right in there, so we'll try to get that off. And this Fordham tool has a foot pedal, and that's what I'm using to either speed up or slow down. Pretty handy little tool. Okay. So all of that is filled in with the epoxy. All the way around. You can't feel any of that crack in there anymore. Okay, so now we'll try to go back in and buff up the stone with some Zam, which I like to use on turquoise. Zam looks like that. It's nice on soft stones. And again, I just want to polish the stone and not the metal. I'd use a different wheel for that. Yeah, it's completely filled. That stone is not going to go anywhere. So we can't completely eliminate the crack, obviously, but we can certainly make it secure. So when she goes to wear this now, everything is going to be fine. Okay, so that's our bench today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll have another one real soon. And there will absolutely be a giveaway from the At the Bench series. Probably the giveaway will be in my next online sale. Just don't have a date for that because I seem to be doing a lot of traveling this month of May, so it's hard for me to work ahead of time. So thank you so much for stopping in and hope you've all learned a little something today. Thank you. Bye.